Hello, it is 6:30, April 2nd, 2020. Welcome to the weather update. And yeah, we had some sun, but the sun has faded. The clouds have rolled in. And you can see here on the radar that the whole bunch of moisture is coming back from this huge storm that is sitting offshore. You can see all the rain that is now enveloping New England and even interior New England, maybe even, and some of the higher elevations, maybe even a little snow. Probably Mount Washington is probably snowing on top of Mount Washington. You can see a good amount of rain. This looks like it's heading our way on this radar here. If we look at the other radar here, the National Weather Service radar, which we'll get to in a minute here, you will see here that I did feel a couple of sprinkles around 4 or 5 o'clock. So definitely starting to see some rain moving, and it's probably raining out on the east end of Long Island. Probably rain being reported. So let's go ahead and look at a few observations here across the area. Farmingdale is now overcast at 57, north wind at 15, gusting to 24. And it did get up to, looks like 58 at Farmingdale, though it felt a lot cooler than that with the wind. And we had some clouds around in the morning, and then it cleared out. And in the midday, we had some mostly sunny skies. And it did get to the pines for a little bit. Looks like the wind was actually worse in the middle of the day there with a gust of 37 from the north. But then we had some clouds roll in, and actually the clouds are pretty. They were like altocumulus clouds, really pretty. So let's go look at West Hampton because I bet it's raining over there. Let's see what West Hampton has. No, they're reporting overcast conditions, no rainfall yet. They got up to 56. They had mostly cloudy skies, and then in the morning, and then cleared out in the middle of the afternoon, in the early afternoon there, and noon, and then it clouded right back up again. And I do have a video from the Pines, very short video that'll be up later. And let's take a look at New Jersey. Let's go all the way west to New Jersey. They're still only seeing a few clouds. Northwest wind at 14, gusting 26. And let's see, they had partly cloudy conditions in the late morning, and then they had a little bit of clearing around noon, and then it clouded back up again. This is at Miller Air Park, west of Toms River. We'll look at a couple of other observations here from the city. Central Park, 55, and they also got up to 57, and again, a lot of clouds around. I mean, there was some clear sky, but it wasn't a completely clear day. There was some clouds, but we did have a good amount of sunshine for at least a couple hours, say between like noon and 2 o'clock or so. We got some sunshine. So let's go look at our satellite image here. This is the earlier satellite image. So you can see this is the earlier one. This is what it looked like. I saved this one. This is what it looked like around noon. But if we go and we refresh this, you'll see the clouds roll in on us here from that storm system here. Let me pull this out let me make this 60 frame loop here so you can see what happens. So you can see the clouds roll in on us. They certainly did roll in on us. It also looks like some cumulus clouds popped up over New Jersey. But there was a good amount of clear sky that was right over Nassau County, New York City, and maybe northern New Jersey that lasted for a couple of hours. But the clouds have rolled in on us, and we are seeing some of those showers move in. Now I want to look at a different, let's see if we can get we have the northeast one, but I'd like to see U.S. Atlantic coast. Yeah, let's see that. Let's see the U.S. so we can take a look at the storm in general. So let me make this again. Let me make this 48 frames so you can see what it looks like here. Look at that thing. Look at this thing. All right, pull in a little more. Yeah, look at this thing here. Again, you see that wound up circulation there, and it's just got so much moisture with it, and that's why it's throwing all the rain back at us. Very unusual looking system there. Really, what can I say? Really interesting to see that. And the clouds almost look like hurricane clouds too, the kind of clouds you saw. And you'll see in the video that I'll be putting up in a little bit some of the interesting clouds that we saw there in the Pines. So, nope, that's yesterday. Let's look at today. Okay, so here's your storm, high resolution satellites. You can get a better look at it here on the MODIS site. And you see here, look at that wrapped up center And all the moisture, literally this moisture here, this moisture feed goes all the way back to the tropics. So let's see if I can load all these layers here. Okay. So this moisture feed goes all the way back to the tropics. So all the moisture that's being thrown up over New England is actually originating from the tropics. So if we draw this out, you will see here, this is the feed right here, right into the storm, right into the center of it. So all this moisture is getting thrown right back. Literally, it's going all the way this way and then all the way back into the northeast, which is pretty crazy. And this is why it's raining. This is why we have the clouds. If you were over in this area here, you'd have nice clear weather, but we're getting this moisture thrown back at us, unfortunately. So let's look at the models and take a look and see what's going to be happening here as we watch the storm here. This is the 18Z GFS model, and we're going to move this region over to eastern U.S. All right, so we're going to basically be looking at the surface. Here is your low right here. Very intense low, too. 900. Oh, yeah, before I do that, let me go look at the weather and hazards map here. You can see temperatures right now in the mid-50s. Generally mid-50s everywhere. You can see that strong north to northwest wind. And let's see if we can get some buoy observations here. The numbers in red are wind gusts. Nothing too impressive. There's a gust of 43. But I'm curious about the wave heights. Let's see. Wave heights, 12 feet. Okay, yeah. We definitely have some high surf being kicked up by this storm, and I'm not at all surprised about that. So let's get back to the models here, and we will take a look at this storm. So you can see how tight those isobars are wrapped up. This is a very wrapped up low. And it's going to be sitting there and moving back at us. You can see, look at it moving westward here, retrograding toward us on Friday. And it gets even closer Friday morning. And I think we're going to have a pretty yucky Friday. It's looking like a rainy Friday. You're probably not going to want to be able to go out because it's going to be rainy and windy and very unpleasant with this low here. 985 millibar low, strong northeast winds. It's a nor'easter, basically, that is usually nor'easters go up the coast. This one went off the coast and then came back at us, which is very strange. So Friday is going to suck, and then hopefully, by Saturday we should get out of it. The thing moves southeast and away from us, and we should see improving conditions for that. And then we look at next week, and it looks after that it looks kind of dry until we maybe get to a Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe there'd be another system around this period right here. But I think we're going to see some rain from this for sure. Let's go to the NAM model. Again, NAM 12 kilometer. So you can also take a look at this. Again, this is the 18Z run. Let's see how the NAM handles the rain. So here is your low center. A very strong wrapped up low center. And you can see it's retrograding toward us. See a little rain in the morning there. And then another area showers in the early afternoon. And then maybe we're finally done with it by later. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a great day tomorrow at all. It's going to be one of those days where, you may not be able to go out because of the rain. The way things are right now, if it rains, you got to stay home because you can only go outside for walking and you can't eat in anywhere. So if it's raining, forget it. You pretty much need to stay home. There's not much you're going to be able to do unless you absolutely have to go out. So you can see, and then that low moves away. You get the idea of what's going to happen here with this storm system. Let's go look at, those are the two models I want to look at. That's enough, I think. So let's go to the northeast region here and get a closer look and see this here. So we'll first look at the NAM. And here is that rain coming back at us here. You can see overnight, after midnight, we're going to get to see some rain. Probably not heavy. But it's probably going to, and we're going to have this chance of rain right through Friday. So how much rain does this actually give us here? Not that much rain, so it won't be very heavy, probably less than a quarter of an inch. Probably the heavier rain is going to be over the Cape. They could see over an inch of rain. Let's see what the GFS looks like in regards to that. Similar idea. So the further east you are, the more rain you can get. Nassau County maybe we'll see a quarter of an inch. But if you're more toward the east end and Montauk and the Forks, you might see closer to a half an inch of rain. But either way, I think we're going to be looking at rain. If it's not raining, it might be drizzling, might be pretty unpleasant. And the winds will also be an issue as well. So that'll be the next thing we're going to look at is the wind speed. And don't worry, I will look at windy.com for that as well. So here is your low center. Here's the GFS. Here's the wind speed. And you can see some of those reds go over the Cape. In this area here, we're seeing winds are going to be up near 40 to 50 miles an hour. So this is some pretty strong winds. And you can see right from the northeast, looking at those little arrows there, you got this very strong northeast wind. Let me pull this back up again. So we got these very strong northeast winds coming in like this. And they are going to be definitely causing some coastal flooding, especially along Cape Cod. I don't think Long Island will see it as bad, but we could certainly see some, minor flooding. And you can see some of the winds clip the east end there, some of the high winds there, and then it moves south of us. And then we should see a reprieve from the winds probably sometime after 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Easing off of the winds, and then finally, as we get to the weekend, the winds die off. But this is going to be a true nor'easter, that's for sure. Let's look at the NAM. Look at the NAM 12 kilometer, because this is a somewhat higher resolution. So you can see that, again, those high winds go over the Cape at Long Island. The Forks may get into a little bit of high wind action with sustained winds around 25 to 30 miles an hour. But it looks like it stays away from most of Long Island, the highest winds. But the winds will be up there for sure. It's not going to be pleasant again with this low right here. Very intense. You can see how tight those isobars are. Again, very strong low pressure center. Unusually strong. But this is what's going on due to those warmer than normal oceans that have an effect. So let's go and look at the temperatures, I guess, because it will also be kind of cold too tomorrow. So I'll look at use the GFS for that. So here's your temperatures for tomorrow. You'll see tomorrow we're only going to be in the mid 40s, probably a little warmer as you head south and west, and cooler as you head toward New England. Obviously, with that wind blowing, it's going to be a really nasty Friday in the rain. But look at that. We do recover on Saturday. We get back into the mid 50s. Sunday, there's a variation in temperature, maybe cooler on the island, warmer in Jersey. And then as we deal with that ridge type of flow next week, you'll see Monday we shoot up to around 60, possibly over 60. 60 is probably on Long Island, maybe 70 in New Jersey or greater. And then we go back, we cool off a little more. And then Wednesday could be another cool day, but you can see all the warm air that's around. Next week will certainly be a warmer week than this week. For sure. Hopefully that means there'll be more sunshine as well. So I guess we'll go look at the sky forecast on this and see if there's any hope of having clear skies. Obviously not tomorrow. And Saturday you'll see the clouds try to break up a little bit, but whether it'll be clear or not, I have my doubts. Probably just partial sunshine. Same thing for Sunday. Looks like a lot of high clouds. Maybe less in the way of clouds on Monday. I don't know if we're going to have a nice clear sky though. And then tons of clouds Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe we can get out of it Thursday, and maybe even more so on Friday, maybe. Well, that's a ways away. I can look at the NAM as far as the cloud cover goes and see how that looks. So here is your Friday. Let's look at that storm there. You can almost see like a little eye there. So obviously plenty of clouds tomorrow, and we keep those clouds around, but maybe Saturday we can get some breaks, and maybe it will clear out in the afternoon, and we can have a nice afternoon at least on Saturday. So let's go look at windy.com and look at the European with the winds as far as the wind goes, because I like this particular model. It actually is fairly accurate, and I think it really does a good estimation of the wind. So here's the center of the storm right now, and you can see we have sustained winds 41 miles an hour in certain areas around it. As we go into Friday morning, you'll see those really strong sustained winds and nor'easter type conditions lash the Cape, where winds could be sustained near 40 miles an hour. But for us, it won't be too bad. Let's go move it. So let's move it along here and see how much worse it could get for us. So far, still, we're spared for the most part from the worst of the winds, but you can see here that, again, on the Cape, they got a north wind at 40, so they're going to be having some really strong winds on the Cape. And again, these are sustained winds. If we look at the east end of Long Island, 26 26 miles an hour at Montauk. But again, not too bad as far as the wind goes at our location here in Nassau County and most of Long Island. And then it starts to shift off to the south on Friday night. And then by Saturday, we're still seeing some strong northeasterly winds. And this wind field is incredible. I mean, look, if we pull this out, look at the wind field on this whole storm. It's crazy. Let's move this off to 2 p.m. So by 2 p.m. we start seeing a little more slackening of these northeast winds on Saturday. All right, but now we got to go and look at the wind gusts because those are just sustained winds. And when we look at the wind gusts, things look a lot more impressive here. So the sustained winds, the Cape is already seeing. The gusts. The Cape could be seeing gusts near 50. We're going to see gusts near 40, perhaps. By Friday morning, however, these stronger gusts start getting closer to the Cape, and now you got wind gusts up near 51. But Long Island so far is still only dealing with gusts up to 30, so it's not too bad. Let's move it in more to the afternoon here. And you can see Long Island still avoids the worst of it, but the Cape, here's your center right there. The Cape is taking it on the chin there, 52 mile an hour wind gusts. So the Cape and coastal New England is going to be getting a pretty decent nor'easter out of this, and we're going to be getting brushed by it pretty much. That's pretty much the deal, and you can see those winds we're still kind of dealing with them on Friday, on Long Island, but not as bad as they are at the Cape because, again, this is, your huge storm center here. By Saturday, we start to see some slow movement away, but it really is slow. We still got the very strong northeast wind here. And finally, by Saturday afternoon, we finally start losing some of these wind gusts a little bit, and things start improving. Now, let's see how this handles the clouds. So we're going to go into Friday because I want to see where it puts the showers. So the European model doesn't really bring the rain in that close to us. I still think we might see some rain. We'll have to see. Here's 9 p.m. You see it still has some showers. So I think we're going to see some showers. Let's go into Saturday and see if it clears us out on Saturday. It does not. It has us socked in the clouds. Maybe an opening in the afternoon, maybe. Moving along to Sunday here. Still a lot of clouds around. And maybe Monday we finally lose the clouds a little bit. But you can see how every model has a different way of handling it. With these unusual type of storm tracks, because this doesn't happen that often, the models don't have a really good track record of handling it. But we will see, I think, be getting brushed by this nor'easter. I don't think we'll be getting the core of it or the brunt of it. I think the brunt is going to be right over here in coastal New England. But we will be seeing some effects for sure. I just want to go to earthnullschool.net, and then we're going to wrap up this weather update. And I want to look at the water temperatures again, because I always try to remind people you got to look at the ocean temperature anomalies and show you where these anomalies are. And look at this. So here is the bright reds. I'm not going to go over the actual. Basically, the bright yellows are areas where there's a lot of above normal water. The blue is below normal because there's a lot more bright yellow and red than there is blue. And if we put our storm right over those areas, you'll see, look at that, matches up almost perfectly. There it is. So these storms are fueled by these warmer than normal ocean temperatures. That's a fact. That's something to consider as we start heading toward hurricane season. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching.